Future Diaries. Let's see. Future Diary was actually really hard for me. It was one of those shows that I actually had a lot of challenges on, just because when we were recording the show, we didn't have any audio, like the audio files that they had sent us were corrupted. And so whenever we would actually record, we had no music and no sound effects. And usually when we recorded, I had nobody else that had already recorded prior. So I was kind of alone the entire time I recorded the show. Except for the occasional, the times that I would hear Brina, who played Yuno, record. So it was sometimes the only person I would ever hear was Yuno being creepy. And so it was actually kind of a scary experience recording Future Diary. Favorite part probably would just be when he really starts to, when Yuki starts to get that confidence, just because of, you know, like Yuno is starting to plan everything out. He really starts to feel like he can trust her, and he actually starts to be kind of a badass in his own right. But then of course that ends up just kind of stopping. But that was, I think, my favorite part was when he changed, and then how him changing leads to probably the most tragic point in his life. That's my favorite part. And are you Tinkerbell?
I am.
You look awesome. You look fantastic. Alright, how's it going? This is really my favorite. I feel like it's going, man.
Yeah, it's going good. Thanks for inspiration.
You are God right now.
Oh, right, yes, I'll hold the concept. Yeah, what I was going to ask was, when you're recording Attack on Titan, it's so weird because my voice is coming straight back at me. when you were recording for Attack on Titan, oh Jesus, feedback. When you were doing it, was it sort of weird for you? Because I'm assuming that when you were doing the recording, you were kind of you weren't doing it with any of the other voice actors. So you know there were these moments of distress, like when you know when Eren gets you know you were like, oh holy shit, you know. What was that like trying to simulate like the distress of somebody being like somebody dying in an anime? How was that for you?
And like in the stream and stuff in particular. Well, I've been dying in anime since 2004. That in itself isn't necessarily anything new. But in terms of Armin's scream and that whole moment, and just a lot of the stuff that Armin does, because he screams a lot. There's a lot of screaming in that show. For me, for that particular scene that you're talking about, it really was just 3 or 4 takes and trying to make sure that we could get that. We really wanted to, like, you can just scream and scream all day if you want to, and maybe like you get those raw Dragon Ball Z like screams or whatever. But Mike McFarlane, who's directing for the English dub, really wanted to capture in that moment the real sound of his, pretty much his mind breaking, because he not only is one of the last real people that he cares about in his life pretty much gone right in front of him, but in a way he's responsible. And so he really wanted that sound of absolute hysterics. And so it was kind of a challenge to get to that point. And it took like 3 or 4 takes of just really trying to get that sound to come out, but we eventually got it, and it was fun, and I couldn't talk for a good half hour.
Is it funny when you're saying about Armin screaming like
Final scratch behind him.
Like in my head, I'm just going to say
Final
it, just
scratch behind him. Is my little corny part?
Would have been the greatest. Just okay. Episode 5 of Attack on Titan. We are completely breaking the canon right here and now. Armin goes Super Saiyan, nothing else.
It's been the outtakes.
I know, right? It'd be amazing.
Okay, thank you, man. See you now.
I saw a giant keyblade in the background a second ago. had to go fight.
Oh. Hey!
Rock on. Oh, thank you.
Everyone.
Darling, you are. You should have a jellyfish dress is what you should have.
Whoa, that's a big cup.
What flavor of hockey are you holding? Original. I couldn't tell if it was original or if it was like the strawberry or whatever. What's the cup? Can you guys ship me some hockey real quick? Hey, how's it going?
Hello, I was wondering out of all the roles you've done, which one's your favourite?
I have 5. I actually have 5. It's hard to pick just one, really. So I have 5 that just kind of represent the major milestones in my career. First one was Tai Chi in Comic Party Revolution. He was my first named role or big role in an anime ever. Second was Kyohei and the Wallflower, because I was a huge fan of Nabasheen growing up. Third is Kenichi, the Mighty's Disciple, just because that was kind of a fanboy dream come true, where I got to not only, my first show ever working for Funimation, I got to be a lead in the show, but I got to all of the supporting and other lead cast were everyone I had listened to growing up in Dragon Ball. So like all of my masters included Supreme Kai, Broly, Vegeta, Piccolo, Yamcha, Korin, and all those guys. Just an all-out cast of all these people that I've grown up listening to, and it was just really, really cool. Next is Kurenosuke and Princess Jellyfish, just because that show kind of came along at a time where as a fan of anime, I was kind of starting to get burned out, just because there had been like several years long stretch where we were getting almost nothing but all these shows that were no story, no substance, but they have a bunch of sparkly gravity-defying movies. It's just like, well, you got those, it's fine. But then so I was getting kind of burned out on it, and then along comes Princess Jellyfish, which is not only just this amazingly, brilliantly written comedy and also very heartfelt, very human story, but it's also one of the first animes I've ever seen, or I can remember, that had a cross-dresser or a transgendered individual portrayed not only in a positive light, but this person is the role model. And it was just really cool to see not only that, and to see that someone like that being represented in that sort of light, but it was also really cool to see that this person was teaching all of these really wonderful hardcore geeks that not only can they love themselves for being geeks, but they can be strong and be beautiful in the real world and not be afraid to be who they are. And then last but not least is Armin, and that was just kind of because not only it's the first time in my career playing Armin was the first time in my career that I had ever been a fan of a show before I had ever gotten a chance to audition for it. Then when I got to audition for it, I got to audition for the character I wanted. Then I got the character I wanted, and then that show ended up on Toonami, which was kind of where my anime fandom really started. So it just kind of felt like this really big, I had gone full circle. And there you go, that's my 5.
Awesome.
Thank you. All right, quick question. Who are you cosplaying? For a second I thought you were Sealand from Italia, but I think I'm wrong.
I'm going to explain from Sugar Chara.
From what? What is it?
Sugar Chara.
I'm not familiar with that one. I'll have to check it out. Is it an anime or a game?
It's an anime. A very, very kiddie anime.
Very kitty. Okay. I'll have to see if I can find something on it. It looks cute. Thank you for your question. toaster here.
Hey.
What up? Oh, it's Cloud.
What's your favourite Final Fantasy?
Ooh.
I like 8. I enjoy 8. It's kind of my favorite of all time. I really enjoy the whole Battle Garden system and that story. I am really excited, especially now that I have the PS4. I'm really excited about the new Final Fantasy VII. You know, the remastered release they just announced. So, like, I'm excited to check that out. I think really just overall in terms of like story, graphics, and gameplay, my favorite that I've ever played so far has been 6. Like just as the overall, but I really enjoyed 6. And I really enjoyed 8. I never really got a chance to really play 7. I watched my little brother play most of 7, and so I got the story, but I didn't really get the gameplay aspect of it. What about you? I'm guessing 7.
Yeah.
However did you guess? It's like a genius or something. Hey, let's go, man.
Hello. Yeah. Except for anime, what is your favorite TV shows?
Except for anime.
Yeah.
Let's see. I've been keeping track of Supernatural for the last few years. Big fan of Doctor Who. I've been watching that since 10. Yeah, I started that in 10. I've gone back and seen a lot of the older stuff too, thanks to, do you guys know the voice actor J. Michael Tatum?
Yeah.
Do you know the English voice actor J. Michael Tatum? He was the voice of Sebastian in Black Butler. He's also France and Italia and a lot of other really fun stuff. He's also Aaron. He's Aaron in Titan. He's Commander Aaron Schmidt in Attack on Titan. He is the one who introduced me to Doctor Who because he is a gigantic movie in it. Like that dude. That dude has watched and collects almost everything Doctor Who that he can. So like I really kind of got into it from that. Let's see. My girlfriend is getting me into Buffy the Vampire Slayer. I missed that dream back in the 90s. I really am enjoying it. Joss Whedon is brilliant. I loved Firefly. What's the show that I'm watching right now? Game of Thrones. Let's see. There's a lot, man. It's like a lot of. Yep, just watched a whole lot. Cool, man. Thanks for your question.
Let me go talk to him.
What's up, man?
Hey, how much? How's it going?
Yeah, I just wanted to quickly ask, what do you think about Kingdom Hearts 3?
You know, I only played, I think, half of the first Kingdom Hearts, so I may not be as excited about it as a lot of people, but I am kind of excited about, especially for the PS4 and seeing the new version of it. I'm excited to try it out, play it. I want to see if there's going to be, now that Star Wars is effectively a Disney movie. Yeah, I was like, where are we going to see? Are we going to see Star Wars in this? Are we going to see Princess Leia since she is now technically a Disney princess? Like, we're going to have to it'd be cool. I would be totally down for that.
One more question.
Which
season of Supernatural is your favorite?
Oh, dude.
Yeah, hard question, I know.
That is a really hard question.
Mine's Paul.
I really did enjoy, I think it was season 3 where you really get to see Castiel start to, evolve as a character. Season 4, okay, yeah. So how can you beat that line? Let's see. I don't know, dude. It's really each season has been progressively better and better, and it's just gotten me back.
That's why I asked.
I would say the Leviathan arc was the one I enjoyed the least so far. I don't know why. The Leviathan, it's the one that I enjoyed the least so far. Just it didn't really grab me as much as the previous seasons had.
It's not because you probably pushed it too far.
I think maybe so. Maybe they kind of jumped the shark a little bit with it, but the season that followed was fantastic. They felt like they kind of jumped
that was epic.
And it's pretty crazy, man. What about you?
Fourth, when the Castiel appeared,
Yeah, cool.
Best one.
It is. It's such a good season. You're constantly on the edge of your seat the entire time. You just feel so you feel kind of bad at the end of it. You have that feeling of, oh, okay, well, I guess everything's gonna be all right, but man, it sucks. They had to go to all these horrible places for it to even feel remotely like stuff was resolved.
Yeah, I have to ask, because the first season, the first TV show you said, you mentioned Supernatural, so I had to ask.
Rock on, dude. But enjoy.
Cheers.
Cheers, dude. Cat ears. It's like, you can't have an anime con without Nico Mimi. Yeah, is that it?
I'm just wondering, is there a difference between voice acting in anime and voice acting in video games? Is there different challenges that come with it?
It depends on the video game. Let's say, if I was when I recorded on a Dynasty Warrior 7 or a Tales of Xillia 2 game, it was pretty much the exact same challenges, the exact same process that you would experience when you're doing an anime dub, just because since they're both kind of JRPGs or Japanese action games, you still have animation cutscenes that have been pre-animated that you have to fit dialogue into mouth movements or within a specific time frame. Why is this person rubbing? What's that?
I don't know either.
But in terms of you have the dubbing process, you have to fit things within a certain time frame. But when we're recording games like Borderlands or Borderlands 2, nothing's been animated so far, and you have the writing team there when you're recording, and not only do you get to really play around with the dialogue and really get to kind of make it your own, you also have the freedom to ad-lib and to come up with your own, to kind of make the character your own, as well as the dialogue, and to really play around and be creative with the writing team and the creative team in the game, as opposed to just working with translation and trying to make stuff work within a specific time frame. That's really the only key difference. For the most part, it's pretty much the same process.
Alright,
Do that, man. Okay. I'm really liking Capaldi right now. I really like Capaldi. Capaldi, and I was like, no, he looks amazing. He's gonna be awesome. But in terms of aside from Capaldi, I really enjoyed some old school Baker, a little bit of Pertwee. I haven't seen a whole lot of Pertwee, but I have enjoyed what I've seen. I can't remember who was the one with I can't remember the actor's name for the life of me, and I feel horrible. He was the one with he had the umbrella with the question mark. He came. Yeah, Peter Davison. I love Davison. But in terms of the new generation, the latest Doctors, Tennant was the one that really got me into it. Though I enjoy Eccleston, but it's a strange toss-up between Tennant and Smith for me. In terms, if it's not Capaldi, the ones that I've been around, the ones that I've known the longest were Tennant and Smith. And Tennant, to me, and just in terms of story, Tennant was the war-torn Doctor trying to get back in touch with his humanity, whereas Smith is the Doctor who's had enough with his humanity and is trying to get back to being a Time Lord, but hasn't quite found it yet, whereas Capaldi is just back to being full-on Time Lord. I'm sick of all you guys. I'm sick of humanity just mucking everything up and everybody being stupid, so I'm just going to set it straight. Do what? Yeah, very much so. I mean, it kind of goes back to the feeling that I had watching some of the older, the original Doctor Who stuff is having Capaldi there. But I really liked what they threw in the writing, and it was such a small passing line, but it really sold it for me. Was a line of dialogue someone said where the reason why the Doctor regenerated into these younger, more attractive, more appealing forms is because he was trying to run away from his past pain and and trying to shirk the responsibility of being a Time Lord, of being the protector, and then actually try to be liked or whatever. And like that to me was just heartbreaking. But at the same time, it's really sold not only the previous characters to me, but this new Doctor. It really kind of solidified the change.
Most of the people who claim to be like really big Doctor Who fans are my friends who say he calls you so old or something like that, and then I just skip them several times.
Just like, shut up! You hush.
No, he's my favourite.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had to ask that to bring up your
Not a problem. Be sure to bring up to J. Michael Tatum if you ever talk to him or get to meet him. He'll go on. You will not get another word in. Doctor Who or Shakespeare, and the panel is over. Tatum will just keep going. Hello.
Will you be my senpai?
Aww.
Yay!
Senpai has noticed.
I've been there. Thank you, senpai.
You're welcome. I love, is that a Totoro hat? Awesome. Yes, of course, Totoro hat always deserves to be, you can, I will be your senpai because of the Totoro hat. Got a Pikachu back there. Was that a Big Hero 6 hat next to you?
Yeah.
Awesome. Oh, awesome, you got it.
Oh, okay.
I love the venue that you guys are at. It looks really. Is it a school? Are you guys at an auditorium, like a or
University.
Theater?
It's university.
Oh, rock on. Hi.
Hiya.
Hey, how's it going?
Yeah, good, thanks. Do you have any tips for voice acting?
Really, there's. First and foremost, I mean, for most people that I know, myself included, a lot of us got our start in theater, or at least in some form of acting. That's always a plus. So, like, if you have any sort of prior acting experience, whether it be like some sort of community theater or university training or anything like that.
Yeah, study drama.
Yeah, I'll rock on. All right, you're already ahead of the game. It also just, you have to be where the work is. So, like, if you want to, do anime, especially like English dubbing, I don't know if you guys have any sort of studios that do stuff. I know that, like for the Dragon Ball Z dub, you guys watch the Ocean Studios dub, correct? Or do you also watch the Funimation dub? No idea? All right, cool. But like, no, it's fine. But if in terms of doing voice work these days, I can really only talk from my experience here in the States. If you want to do stuff like for video games or for commercial or just to be able to get yourself out there, it helps to be able to have an agent to be able to find the auditions that you normally wouldn't be able to find on your own. And they can also advertise you, and they're a great way to be able to get your name out there. But other than that, it really is just kind of all about doing the footwork yourself, kind of paving your own path and finding the opportunities where you can to be able to actually do the work. 90% of the job of being a voice actor or just an actor in general is finding the work, is pimping yourself out, selling yourself, and trying to, find the work. And then the last 10% is actually working. And so it really would just be a matter of finding a way to get your voice, your work, and what you can do out there so that people know it's there. I mean, the internet is as good a tool for that as any these days. There's plenty of, you can do stuff on YouTube, you could, there's a lot of online website and communities that offer memberships. They're like voice actor databases, and a lot of times some smaller companies or some smaller advertising firms will put auditions for commercials and stuff on these websites, and then you can audition for it right from home with your own setup and can often get work and actually get professional and paid work. It may not be the greatest pay, but it at least can be an actual professional credit that you can put on a resume that could open doors for you later down the road. Any other questions? Any?
That's it, thank you.
All right, cool. You bet.
Sorry.
Whoa. Hello.
Hello. You alright?
I lost audio on you guys. I can't hear you guys now.
Oh wait.
No, I still can't hear. I can't hear you. It sounded like something came unplugged just before you gave the mic to her. There it is.
Okay, you can hear me now.
Yes.
Hi.
Hello.
I was just wondering, are there any voice actors that you actually that you work with professionally that you hang around with on a personal level?
On occasion, Ian Sinclair and I, if you watch Space Dandy, or if you watch Black Butler, he was the director for the Black Butler dub. Ian Sinclair and I are pretty good friends. We hang out pretty regularly. I talk for a living. Let's see. Alexis Tipton and I are pretty close friends. We hang out pretty often. Tyson Reinhardt is a really good friend. Christopher Bevins, who is the director for Princess Jellyfish and Princess Jellyfish, The Devil's a Part-Timer, Very Evil, a bunch of really cool stuff lately, especially. Yeah, there's a lot of people that I get to hang out with, voice actor-wise, that are pretty close and pretty good friends. I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Sorry, I said that's brilliant.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. Are you Renoa?
Yeah.
Are you cosplaying as Renoa? Awesome, you look fantastic. Looks great. Oh, you got the wings too. Yeah.
Samantha, do you want to say hello?
You guys have some fantastic cosplay out there. Hi. Hello, how are you?
It's my daughter.
Oh, that's beautiful. Hi.
Any more questions from the floor? Oh wait, one more.
Can you do Big Hero handshake with me?
Yeah, big shit. Yeah, sure. Awesome, man. Dude, there was a throw miss from across the pond. That was awesome.
What would you rather fight? 100 dog-sized horses or 1 horse-sized dog?
A dog-sized horse, because then I would technically have a chocobo once I trained it.
Oh.
Why not? Can't say you couldn't tame it.
Can I have your phone?
I'll face it.
What new releases this year in anime? Which ones are you seeing for?
Actually, it's been pretty cool. A lot of them I've actually had the chance to view. Some of them I can't talk about, but recently, like for this current season, the fall season, I got to view Seraph the End, which I thought was a really awesome show because it's kind of. Have you seen Seraph? Do you know anything about Seraph the End? Okay, cool. So, doing the work on that was a lot of fun because the storyline seemed very much like Titan to me. It had kind of a similar kind of Attack on Titan feel, but instead of giant naked people, it's vampires. I really enjoyed Yuri Kuma. Yuri Kuma was kind of crazy and fun, but you know, it's the guy who makes you nuts. Of course, it's gonna be crazy. Last season, I really enjoyed No Game, No Life, and I would have loved to have had the ability to either be a part of the writing process or to dub it, but it was dubbed down in Houston, and I haven't done anything for them in a few months. So that would have been nice, but I'm glad that at least it's me. I do. I will see yeah, like the newest season, like the newest incarnation of it, I've only seen like the first 4 or 5 episodes.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I know the JoJo's. I just am not very familiar overall with like the canon or the actual characters. I know the first 5 episodes. Okay. It looks fun.
Thanks, man.
You bet, man. Babes! What's up, babes?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, like I saw them watch and see everybody walking around. Like, there's like maids everywhere. Woo!
You bring up
So, you mentioned being a big fan of Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah.
Are you excited for Dragon Ball Z? I like potential stuff.
Yeah. It's gonna be. Toriyama back in the saddle, are you kidding me? Yes. I really, and also, like, I'm looking forward to see whether or not he's actually going to keep, like, Resurrection of F and the stuff from Battle of the Gods, if that's going to be at all canon to this new series, because, you know, he's notorious for the movies not necessarily being canon to the overarching saga, but it seems like he's using these movies to completely set up the new series.
Yeah, so there was character art released the other day that had the what's it, Virus and West. Yeah. So probably gonna be connected.
Yeah, I hope so. Like, I think I remember seeing something like there's art of Vegeta and Goku's, like the uniforms, and on Goku the turtle hermit symbol is gone, and Whis' symbol is there. I think Whis is like training them. I don't know if that's just in the movie, but or not. But like, I'm pretty sure Whis is training to a god of destruction that I'm hearing is training Goku and Vegeta.
Stop it.
They've got to keep this from it.
I'm looking forward, especially since, you know, he mentioned the Battle of the Gods, that there's all these different dimensions. There's 13 dimensions. Like, who knows? Maybe we're gonna see, you know, go. I would love to see, like, they go to a dimension and there's like these weird copies of everybody, and there got to be like a Goku versus evil Goku, Krillin versus evil Krillin, or something like that. That would be amazing.
Just like stick a beard on him, Star Trek style.
The ultimate, yeah, seriously,
Mirror universe.
Mirror universe. Hell, rock on. Thank you for making Star Trek reference.
It's been on my mind since Picard photo showed up.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, dude. Picard was Next Generation kind of your first delve into it? Yeah. Same here. I love the original series, but Next Gen was what got me into Star Trek. You can't beat Sir Patrick Stewart.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot.
You bet, dude.
Oh.
Hey! How's it going?
You?
Doing great.
Do you think
Your Pikachu friend is... Do what? Your Pikachu friend is just causing all sorts of... I see your mobile. Google. Yeah, sure, let's see that. What is this? Oh, wow. Whoa. Aww. That's super cute. That's beautiful artwork. Did you do those? Or did you get them there? Okay. Awesome. Rock on! Your art is amazing. You do great work. Seriously great work.
Oh.
So, of course, he has to. Like, that's what Krillin does. Like, he'll do so. I don't know. I would really like to see. I think in this newest movie, he actually ends up kicking some serious butt. But I know, right? It's like about time. He's only the strongest human in the universe. But yeah, who knows? Next season, you never know. I mean, they're Super Saiyan God Super Saiyans now. Like, it's the most ridiculous title ever. Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan Goku. Who knows? How is Krillin going to compete with that? No one knows. Yeah, poor Krillin. Hang on. I wish I can't fully make it out. Like I see the face of the character, I see a little cloud. Hang on. That hairstyle. Oh, it's Clanad, okay. Clanad? Okay. I had a very small role in one of the Clanad seasons. Clanad. Yeah, we say, it's fun. I like hearing that. Like, because yeah, over here in the States, everybody says Clanad. That's interesting. Separated by a common language. It's a race. What if they died the same time? Like when the world imploded? Oh, it doesn't count. One of them has to like die saving the other. I don't know. I think it had to be Krillin. Yamcha dies first too often.
Okay. One question for me. I don't want to be on camera.
Okay.
So yeah.
It's your rad.
Please caption.
Sorry.
Why is a voice actor difficult?
It can be. Like it's fun. Like if you can happily live, not necessarily knowing whether or not you're going to be able to pay for rent the next couple of months, like you can make it as a voice actor. Like it's. For the longest time, I got by. I was just living very cheaply. I lived in very small apartments with multiple people splitting the rent, and just trying to. But thankfully, since all the dubbing I've been doing is in Texas, and in Texas it's one of the cheapest places to live in the States, just because the cost of living is so low, as well as like property and everything. But because according to the U.S. government, I am self-employed. All of us, if you're a voice actor, you live as a contractor, as an independent contractor. So you are taxed more. You don't get to keep as much of the money of your work. I also, because I have an agent and because I have to keep track of all the tax stuff on my own. I have to pay commissions to my agent. So a lot of times before I even get any of the money that I make from recording, I've already lost about half of it to everything else. So like it's if I was just living as a voice actor, if I was just working specifically only as a voice actor, it would be a lot harder. But now I can live pretty much only off of anime, and I have for the last few years because I work not only as an actor, and thankfully I get a lot of work. I also work as a writer, which is kind of the job I'm doing the most. Yeah, so I work as an ADR writer, and I do a lot of the ADR scripts for the dubs.
Oh, wow.
So, like, you bet. But yeah, I mean, it really is just this. And I'm sure, like, you've got artists there and artists out. Like, I'm sure that a lot of them try to make their living or make a pretty good portion of their living doing this. This is all a labor of love, right? It's like it's a labor of love, right? Pretty much. Like it may not always pay the bills, but you're happy. Like you get to do something that you love. So, as long as you can keep that attitude, then yeah, you can make it as an actor or an artist, pretty much of any form. I think.